All right, let's jump right in. Today, we are looking ahead to 2026, to be exact, and we're going to talk about the massive shifts in AI that you just can't ignore. For a while now, it's all been talk, right? Well, that's over. The era of doing is officially here. And this quote, wow, it really sets the stage, doesn't it? Didier Bonnet from IMD Business School calls 2026 AI's put up or shut up moment. And he's spot on. For years, it's been all about cool experiments and little pilot programs. But now, the market is saying, show me the money. It's about real, measurable results. It is absolutely showtime. And really, it all boils down to this, doesn't it? Innovate or get left behind. It's that simple. With all the economic pressure out there, the sources are crystal clear. If you're still just tinkering with AI and not putting it into production, you're not just going to fall behind, you're going to become totally uncompetitive. Okay, so Section 1, building the AI-powered foundation. To actually compete in this new world, what do you need to build? And listen, it's not just about buying some new software. No way. We're talking about a complete overhaul, a fundamental re-architecting of how businesses are built. Let's dig into what this new foundation looks like. So, what are we talking about here? Well, according to Gartner, it's really about three key pillars. First, you've got AI supercomputing platforms. That's for the raw, brute force power you need. Then you have AI native development platforms. These are all about speed and agility, letting smaller teams build amazing things fast. And the third one, this one's so important, confidential computing. Think of it like a digital Fort Knox for your data. It uses special hardware to create these super secure zones so your data is safe even when the AI is actively using it. So you've got power, you've got speed, and you've got trust. That's the winning combo. But here's the thing. Having all that amazing tech, it's not enough. Not even close. It's kind of like having a Formula One engine. I mean, it's incredibly powerful, but without a steering wheel, brakes, and some serious guardrails, you're just going to crash. The new rules of the road are here, and governance has finally caught up with the tech. And these new rules, they're coming from frameworks like the EU AI Act, and this one here, the NIST AI Risk Management Framework. And here's the crucial part. This isn't just a job for the lawyers anymore. These steps, govern, map, measure, manage, are becoming core technical requirements. They have to be built right into the system, right into the AI architecture from day one. Compliance isn't an annoying afterthought anymore. It's a feature. All right, Section 2 is where things get really interesting. The rise of digital coworkers. So we've got this powerful, secure foundation. Now what? Well, now we get to see how it completely transforms the organization itself. Because with all this new power and these new rules, we're literally seeing a new kind of workforce emerge. Okay, to really get this, we've got to understand the difference between the AI we're used to and this new agentic AI. Think of traditional AI as reactive. It just sits there and waits for you to tell it what to do. Agentic AI? It's proactive. You don't give it a task, you give it a goal, and then it figures out all the steps to achieve that goal on its own. It takes initiative. Honestly, it's the difference between a calculator, which you have to punch every number into, and an accountant, who you just give your goal to, like, file my taxes, and they handle the whole thing. And when you get a bunch of these agents working together, you get what Gartner calls multi-agent systems. Seriously, just picture a team of digital coworkers. You could have one agent that's a genius at digging up research, another that crunches all the numbers, and a third that's an amazing writer and puts it all into a perfect report. They actually talk to each other, pass tasks back and forth, and collaborate to get huge, complex projects done. So what's the impact of all this? Well, it's going to be massive. We're talking 40 to 60%. That's the percentage of day-to-day work that IMD's Michael Wade predicts will be run by these AI systems in what he calls AI-native departments. Places like HR, procurement, customer service. A huge chunk of their daily grind will just be handled. And of course, this has a very real impact on people. That same source predicts we'll see a reduction of about 15% in traditional middle management roles. And it makes sense, right? A lot of what middle managers do, running reports, basic analysis, passing information up and down the chain, that's exactly what these AI agents are built for. But look at the other side of that number. For the other 85%, their roles are going to change to evolve. Instead of supervising people doing tasks, they'll be setting the big picture goals for their new digital team. Okay, Section 3, navigating the new risks. Look, a change this big doesn't come for free. All this incredible new power also creates brand new weak spots and vulnerabilities. So let's talk about the new world of risks that every organization is going to have to figure out. One of the biggest risks? A massive surge in incredibly realistic AI-generated fake content. And I'm not talking about those clunky deep fakes you can spot from a mile away. No, we're talking about synthetic product videos that look 100% real, fabricated messages from your CEO that are completely indistinguishable from the real thing. IMD researcher Jialu Shan calls this the defining governance challenge of 2026. And it's easy to see why. So, how do you fight back? Well, the old playbook isn't going to cut it. The defense has to get smarter. Gartner points to a new strategy with a few key parts. First, preemptive cybersecurity. This is about using AI to see attacks coming and stop them before they even launch. Think of it like a weather forecast for cyber attacks. Second is digital provenance. This is basically a bulletproof digital fingerprint for content, so you can prove without a doubt where something came from and that it's authentic. And finally, you have AI security platforms, which is like a central command center to keep an eye on what all your AI agents are doing all the time. So let's move on to our fourth and final section, winning the AI long game. Okay, so you've built the foundation, you understand the risks. Now, how do you actually win? What's the strategy? Well, the answer might surprise you. It's actually a bit counterintuitive. Here it is. Michael Wade says the biggest return on investment, it's not going to come from the flashy customer-facing AI that gets all the headlines. No, the real money, the biggest wins, are in what he calls deep operations. We're talking about the unglamorous behind-the-scenes work, making your supply chain more efficient, cutting down on errors in manufacturing, making your internal financial reporting faster and more accurate. That's where the gold is. And that really drives home this idea of, walking before you run. Instead of trying to boil the ocean, you focus on small, concrete wins. Find a really painful internal process and automate it. By getting those small victories, you start to build everything you need for the bigger battles: confidence, new skills, and most importantly, trust within the organization. This leads to a really profound shift in thinking. For so long, people have looked at compliance and regulation as a barrier, right? Something that just gets in the way of innovation. But what if that's totally wrong? The Somber Source makes a powerful argument that these rules are no longer a barrier. They're actually the blueprint for how to build good, trustworthy, and, in the end, much more successful AI. So how do you actually do all this stuff at scale? Well, you need what's being called the AI factory floor. It's basically the set of tools and processes to manage everything. It started with MLOps for our traditional machine learning models. Then, with the rise of ChatGPT and others, we got LLMOps, which is all about managing those big foundation models. And now, the newest piece of the puzzle is AgentOps. This is the really cutting-edge stuff, focused on how you manage these new autonomous agents that can act unpredictably and use different tools. This is literally the assembly line for your new digital workforce. Okay, so let's bring it all home. The big takeaway. After all that talk about tech and people and risk and strategy, what's the one thing you really need to remember? Well, it turns out it has almost nothing to do with the technology itself. This quote from Mark Greven just nails it. The conversation about AI is moving out of the IT department and into the boardroom. It's not a tech talk anymore. It's a management talk. Because in 2026, the companies that win aren't going to be the ones with the most AI models. The winners will be the ones who use AI as a catalyst to completely reimagine how their organization actually works, how decisions get made, how you structure your teams, who's accountable for what. It's a total reimagining. So that's the question you have to ask yourself. Is your organization just running a tech race, trying to buy the latest tools? Or are you using this moment to lead a genuine management revolution? Because that's the real opportunity here. It's not about plugging in new software. It's about rethinking everything. Thanks for watching.